The Lost Colony of Roanoke, America's First Great Mystery. In the summer of 1587, more than 100 English men, women, and children landed on the coast of what is now North Carolina. They were full of hope, courage, and faith, ready to build the first English colony in the New World. 3 years later, when English ships finally returned, they were gone. No bodies, no signs of struggle, just one word carved into a wooden post: CROATOAN. What happened to the lost colony of Roanoke? Was it starvation, war, or something stranger? Tonight, we dig into one of America's oldest unsolved mysteries, a story where history fades into legend. In the late 1500s, England was desperate to expand its power. Spain controlled much of the New World, and Queen Elizabeth I wanted her own foothold across the Atlantic. Enter Sir Walter Raleigh, a daring explorer and loyal servant to the Queen. In 1584, Raleigh received a royal charter to claim land for England. 2 ships sailed to scout the new territory, and they discovered an island off the coast of modern-day North Carolina, Roanoke Island. The reports were glowing: fertile land, friendly natives, and a warm climate. But those reports were exaggerated. The island was beautiful, yes, but isolated. Supplies would be hard to maintain. Still, Raleigh pressed forward. In 1585, he sent the first group of settlers, all men, mostly soldiers. They struggled with food shortages and clashes with native tribes, and within a year, they gave up and went home. But Raleigh wasn't ready to quit. He wanted a permanent colony, families, farms, and a true English town. In 1587, a second expedition was organized. This time, 117 colonists set sail under the leadership of John White, an artist and experienced navigator. Among them was White's pregnant daughter, Eleanor Dare, who would soon give birth to Virginia Dare, the first English child born in the New World. When they landed on Roanoke, they immediately faced problems. The local tribes, remembering conflicts from the previous expedition, were hostile. Food was scarce. White knew they needed help, so he made the hardest decision a leader could make. He would sail back to England for supplies, leaving behind his family and all 116 settlers. He promised to return within a few months. But fate had other plans. When White returned to England, war broke out with Spain. The Spanish Armada threatened invasion, and every English ship was needed for defense. White begged for a small vessel to rescue his people, but the Queen said no. It took 3 long years before White could finally return to Roanoke. Imagine that moment. 1590. He sails back across the Atlantic, heart pounding, desperate to see his daughter and granddaughter. He reaches the shore. The settlement is silent. The houses are dismantled. No smoke, no footprints, just the word CROATOAN, carved into a wooden post.
Theory 3. They were absorbed by other tribes. Another theory suggests the colonists split into smaller groups, seeking safety inland. Archaeological finds near the Chowan River, about 50 miles away, show European-style items buried with native artifacts. Some tribes' oral histories even mention white ancestors joining them generations ago. Could the colonists have survived by adapting, becoming part of a new world instead of building one? Theory 4. Spanish or supernatural intervention. Now we step into darker territory. Some suggest Spanish raiders from Florida discovered and killed the settlers. The Spanish crown viewed English colonization as an act of war, but no Spanish records mention such an attack. Then there's the supernatural theory, fueled by 19th century writers and modern storytellers. They say the island was cursed, that strange lights and voices haunted the woods, that CROATOAN wasn't a place, it was a warning. Even Edgar Allan Poe referenced CROATOAN as a symbol of doom. And, centuries later, in 1937, Amelia Earhart's missing plane was reportedly connected to the word CROATOAN, carved in her diary, though that's likely myth. Still, the name CROATOAN keeps showing up in mysterious disappearances throughout history, carved on doors, walls, and even in ship logs. Coincidence? Maybe. But it gives this story an eerie echo across time. Part 5. Modern Clues. In recent decades, science has brought new tools to this old mystery. In 2012, researchers from the First Colony Foundation used advanced imaging on a 400-year-old map drawn by John White himself. Beneath a patch of paper, they discovered a hidden red and blue symbol, possibly marking a fort about 50 miles inland. Could this have been the colonists' new settlement site? Archaeological digs in that area, called Site X, uncovered shards of English pottery and weapon fragments dating to the late 1500s. No one knows for sure if these belonged to the lost colony, but it's the strongest clue yet. Even DNA testing is being considered. Some Native American descendants in the region have agreed to participate, hoping to prove they carry English ancestry. If confirmed, it would mean the colonists didn't vanish, they transformed. Part 6. Legacy and Reflection. Today, Roanoke Island is peaceful, a green, quiet place where tourists walk among replicas of the lost settlement. But at night, locals say you can still hear whispers on the wind, footsteps in the sand, the faint cry of a baby, Virginia Dare, the first English child born on American soil, and the first to disappear into legend. The lost colony isn't just a mystery, it's a mirror. It reminds us how fragile beginnings can be. Before there was Jamestown or Plymouth Rock, there was Roanoke, a dream of a new world that vanished into the old. Maybe the colonists died. Maybe they survived and became part of something greater. But one thing is certain. They left behind a question that history still can't answer, and a single word that still chills the heart of anyone who reads it. CROATOAN. Call to action for YouTube. If this story gave you chills, hit like and subscribe for more mysteries from history's forgotten corners. What do you think happened to the lost colony of Roanoke? Leave your theory in the comments. We read every one.